things.
And you delivered the same amount as the Liberals, precisely
without
zero.
raising your tax. Now, without
Well, I listened carefully to your question to the Prime Minister, and I was disappointed that he wasn't able to go beyond resource extraction. Mr. Harper put all of his eggs into one basket, and then he dropped the basket.
I've spent a long time talking with thousands of Canadians across this country. And Mr. Harper may not see what's going on from 24 Sussex Drive, but I do.
And the reason Mr. Trudeau said he was opposed to small business cuts is he said a large percentage of small businesses are just wealthy people avoiding taxes.
Mr. Harper, you know full well that
you're hearing a good ding-dong between these two. Where are you?
Well, I'm going to try to ring their bell. Prime Minister wants to hit the snooze button while Mr. Trudeau is hitting the panic button.
Mr. Mulcair needs to hit the wake-up call. The fact that he's talking about pensions as taxes, why pensions aren't taxes, Mr. Harper, is when people retire, they get their pension money back. They don't get taxes back. He talks about being the best friend that Calgary has ever had, that Alberta has ever had, but he hasn't gotten pipelines built. He has made the oil sands an international pariah, and with friends like Stephen Harper, Alberta doesn't need enemies.
Let's have Mr. Harper quickly respond in a sentence, then we'll come to Mr. Mulcair.
Look, we have given all kinds of tax incentives for people to save. They're taking advantage of 11 million. They're not tax savings accounts. Workers and lawyers want their child.
That was a really long sentence, David.
And that brings us with some relief to the end of the first question. Let's go to Mr. Trudeau.
Mr. Mulcair talks about having been Minister of the Environment in Quebec, but I was living in Quebec at that time, and I remember he was proposing bulk water exports to the United States for Quebec, and that's certainly not something we're interested in.
False.
You gave a speech on it. You said it could be like forestry in the. Well, listen, look at your own record, Mr.
You look
Mulcair.
at the record.
The fact,
Mr. Harper, is Mr. Trudeau onto something?
Absolutely not.
Mr. Mulcair likes to talk about long-term, but what he doesn't realize is long-term actually starts right now. Not 5 years from now, not 20 years from now, not after a few mandates of Mr. Mulcair in government. Canadians need help right now. And the fact of the matter is...
Even Mr. Harper, in a secret meeting with some media in Vancouver, admitted that it was a total shambles.
I'm not sure how you have a secret meeting with the media, but...
We wish.
But you'd manage it, Mr. Harper. I know you'd manage it. This is the time to invest in the future of our country. Canadians know this. The only people who don't seem to know this are those two gentlemen on the stage.
Mr. Mulcair just claimed he's going to raise hundreds of millions of dollars through closing treatment of stock options. There is simply not that kind of money in that, and this is the approach of the NDP, to exaggerate how much money they can raise through a few tax hikes.
He likes to talk about standing up against tyrants and dictators and against terrorists, but you know who stand up against dictators and terrorists? Families fighting to keep their family together, hoping for a better life for them, and they cross the oceans and they make it to Canada, and what does Mr. Harper do? He takes away their health care.
But Rick Hillier, who is no less an authority than former Chief of Defense Staff, last week said, we've got to stop using the security concerns as an excuse to do nothing. So, Mr. Harper, why don't you stop using the security excuse as a pretext to do nothing?
Mr. Mulcair is not making a choice that's going to allow to invest in his promises. They're puffs of smoke. We need to invest right now. We know right now to invest in the future of this country. Mr. Mulcair, you can make jokes all you like.
Look at the cost of housing in some of our major cities. It is out of control. And at the same time, Mr. Harper says, it's okay, I've got a renovation tax credit. How do you renovate a house you can't afford to buy in the first place? They deserve a tax break. That will help create new jobs. That's the way of the future. That's the NDP's
But you're
plan.
collecting $500 million
from experience about the shell company you set up for your speaking fees. That's not the experience I've seen with the mom and pop operations.
Your experience is to play politics with everything, Mr. Mulcair.
Now, Mr. Trudeau says we will have greater optimism by spending more. I actually think this is what Canadians fear. We don't measure our level of optimism through our level of spending.
Now, Mr. Harper, what you don't understand is what Canadians can't afford is to continue to be stuck in traffic every morning because there's no reliable transit, because the federal government hasn't stepped up as a partner. I mean, you've been stuck in a motorcade for the past 10 years.
But, let's be frank about Mr. Trudeau's plan. The reason Mr. Trudeau is running deficits is not because he has some underlying economic philosophy. It's because he went around the country and promised far more money than he actually had and found out that taxing a few wealthy people a little bit does not cover that. And so now he's trying to run, saying deficits are a good thing.
Mr. Harper, you have run deficits in good years. You have run deficits in bad years. The only time you've said the deficits are not going to be run is in election years.
So I think, Justin, that it's only fair to say that when your advisors tell you one thing and another and they're totally contradictory, pick one. You just can't say them both. Mr. Harper was elected on a promise to make Ottawa better, to change Ottawa, but unfortunately it's Ottawa that changed Mr. Harper.